Send Chelsea to me. Send Chelsea to me. Oh, we're live. Hello, good afternoon and good morning, and welcome to another GBKMFM live presentation. And we're coming to you live right here from the Jamaica Canadian Association as we, of course, celebrate Emancipation Weekend with their health and wellness clinic right here at 995 Arrow Road in North York. So you definitely want to come on down, right, Andrea?
Absolutely. Everyone knows how important JCA is to the community. We're really excited to be here, so we want everyone to come on down. We're at 995 Arrow Road. This clinic is so important. There are blood pressure checks.
Yes.
There are blood glucose checks. So everyone knows I'm always preaching about pre-diabetes and diabetes. Come and get your blood sugar tested. And most importantly, COVID testing.
Is done right here, and you can also get your COVID-19 vaccines. We're offering 2 of your first and second doses for the Pfizer and Moderna shots. So you definitely want to come on down for that as well. And if you have any questions about the vaccines, you can also get them answered right here on spot.
Exactly. There are amazing doctors and healthcare professionals right here at this health and wellness clinic at the JCA. If you haven't received your first shot, if you haven't received your second shot, please come on down, get tested, COVID-19 testing, come and get your shots, get tested for your blood pressure and your blood glucose because it's so important. Plus, they're going to feed you. Romaine, I saw a plate with some food go by.
Can I tell you? And it's Jamaican style as well. So I saw fried dumplings, ackee and saltfish.
Ackee and saltfish, fried dumpling, and I heard there's some vegetable soup. You know about the vegetables. So come on down, get your food, get tested, have some fun.
Absolutely. And of course, I'm your host for today, alongside my lovely co-host, Andrea Barrett, so Romaine Redmond here. And the thing about today is, for the very first time in Canadian history, August 1st is being celebrated as Emancipation Day. And as we emancipate ourselves from slavery abolition and all the anti-racism kind of things that have been happening in our society, we also are encouraging you to emancipate yourself health-wise. Get yourselves checked and get yourself healthy and well.
Exactly. We say knowledge is power, applied knowledge is power. We know we've been living in this pandemic for over 15 months. It is so important to take the knowledge we have about staying healthy, getting healthy, following all the public health rules and guidelines, and ensuring that we do what we can to keep each other safe. And no better weekend than Emancipation Weekend, August 1st.
Absolutely. So you definitely want to get yourself down here. It's 995 Arrow Road in North York, and we have so much more for you. So we'll take our very first break, but we'll be right back right here from the Jamaican Canadian Association.
Is that I'm really passionate about sort of being able to help in any way possible in terms of getting folks vaccinated, especially folks who are marginalized. And with the changes in the medical curriculum because of the pandemic, a vaccine clinic is one of many great ways of being able to interact with patients, being able to interact with healthcare workers in general, and have a great time.
What Samira said, I also motivated me to come out today through the Black Medical Student Association. We got the call out, everybody was interested, and so coming here, being able to be part of something this meaningful. Even now, working with a Black physician who in between patients is talking to me about his specialty, talking to me about medicine in general, and also...
Absolutely, and welcome back here. We're still at the Jamaican Canadian Association, and it's their Emancipation Weekend Wellness and Health Clinic, and you definitely want to come on down here for that. What are being offered, Andrea?
We are testing your blood sugar, so come on down. There's some great doctors and healthcare professionals testing your blood sugar. That's how we know if you have pre-diabetes or diabetes. Testing your blood pressure.
Yes.
The Black community or people of color tend to have higher rates of high blood sugar and diabetes and a host of other chronic diseases. Come on down, get tested. It's all about being proactive. And of course, it's all about COVID. Come and get your COVID test.
Come and get your COVID test done. And also they're offering first and second doses of the Pfizer and Moderna shots. So if you haven't got your shot yet, come on down and get those shots as well. And we also want to send a huge shout out to the partners of today's clinic. CAFCAN is here, Black Creek Community Health Center is here, Black Physicians of Ontario is also here, African Food Basket is here, kind sponsorship or partnership with the City of Toronto, confronting anti-Black racism, and also the Black Scientist Task Force on Vaccine Equity is also here as well. So all the information that you'll need as opposed to your health and the vaccines are being offered on site. And the main event really of this weekend is Emancipation. So Andrea, you were doing some research right before we
Yes.
come in. So educate us on emancipation right here in Canada. though.
Emancipation Day in Canada. This is the first time we are celebrating nationally. So in 1834, August 1st marks the actual day that the British Empire abolished slavery across all of the British Empire. So black emancipation across the country is officially recognized this year. So we're so very excited. So we're emancipated and we're now getting healthy and learning more about our wellness. It is up to us to be proactive, to do what we can to stay healthy.
And the important thing about that also is, as we emerge from COVID-19, we've seen the effects that the virus has had on our community, and as well as some of the things that were on our during that period, especially how important our health is to our surviving.
Absolutely. So, Romaine, we know that the Black community has been disproportionately affected by COVID-19.
Yes.
We have seen this in studies, and although there isn't a lot of data, we have seen this.
Yes.
It is important, and the responsibility is on us to do what we can. We are here today at the JCA. They have created an opportunity for members of our community. You don't have to be Jamaican.
Nope.
You can be from any country right around the world. We are open to everyone.
Yes.
Come on down to the JCA to get tested. Find out if you have COVID-19 or get a vaccination. Get your first shot, get your second shot, get your blood pressure checked, get your glucose level checked. It's
Yes.
so important. We need to do what we can to protect our community.
Wonderful. And as you stick around, you might see me go inside and get my blood pressure checked as well, and my blood glucose checked. So you
Yeah.
definitely want to stick with us here as I bring you that presentation. But the fun thing about it is it's Emancipation Weekend. It's a long weekend here in Canada for us.
Yeah.
But while Canada is celebrating for the very first time, many nations around the world, especially those in the Caribbean countries or Caribbean region, has been celebrating emancipation for a very, very long time. So we must also say a huge thank you to the many members of our community that has actually championed legislation like
absolutely,
this.
absolutely.
Special shout out to Senator Wanda Bernard and her team in the Senate who tabled the motion, as well as our community leaders. I know the JCA has been incremental in that as well, and many of our other organizations.
Yeah, like the Ontario Black History Society, which is always tirelessly working to educate, promote, and bring awareness to all things that pertain to our community.
Absolutely. And knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. And what this day represents for the Black community is so powerful to us. It's a day that we heard we were going to be free from the chains, from the whips, and from the plantations. And we are living free today. We still have many, 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 many hurdles to go over. And that's why we keep, our community keeps active. We have members like yourself, Andrea Barrett, who is an active member of our community. And I don't know if you want to share some insight in what our recent undertakings have been, but I leave that to her. Of course, Andrea, you can tell us about what has been going on there. But even before that, financially, you have been on the financial side and the health side. That's your forte, I must say.
I'm so excited to be here because health and wellness is so important to me. So as most people know, my mom has type 2 diabetes, my grandmother had type 2 diabetes. I come from a family history of type 2 diabetes, so it's really important to me that I do my part in educating everyone on the dangers of poor diets or inactive lifestyle, because these chronic diseases are sort of targeting our communities. So health and wellness is important to me. And I also want to say the Emancipation Day, Emancipation Weekend, we are standing on the shoulders of people who've come before us. Our ancestors, we owe it to our ancestors to be better and bigger and stronger and more successful.
Exactly.
We owe it to them. We need to come and we need to get tested. We need to come and we need to get vaccinated. We need to support and follow all public health guidelines because we're a part of this great community. We need to do our part and play our role in getting out of this pandemic as soon as possible.
Absolutely, and as we heard from Canada's health authority the other day, is that a fourth wave might be on the uprising. So to avert that, do what is necessary. Observe public health guidelines, what we're supposed to do indoors and outdoors, as well as if you can, if you're willing to get those vaccines, of course. But of course, what we want to do is just take you around, just let you see what's happening today. I can see the line. The line is getting longer. It's definitely more people than we have today, but also what has been happening, the line has been moving very quickly. So if you come here, you might just be entering into a walkthrough situation, and that is what we're trying to get at.
Right. Do you remember we used to see a lot of lineups everywhere?
Yes.
They are fully staffed here at the JCA. So bring your entire family, bring your neighbor, bring your neighbor's neighbor. bring as many people as possible, pack up a car, jump on the TTC, come and get tested. Come and get your blood pressure checked. Come and get your
Glucose levels checked.
A lot of people
Yes.
haven't been to their family physician.
Yes.
My mother hasn't seen a doctor in over 16 months.
16 months?
Because
So we're
everything's
there.
been virtual.
Yes.
Who's been checking her blood sugar but me?
Exactly.
Please,
Come
bring
on
all
down.
those people down here.
Come
Get
on
your-
down.
Yes, it's important.
And who knows, you might actually win a prize here. We have so many prizes and surprises on the compound, and we have food. We have
Oh, we
food for
got
you
food. We
as
got
well.
food,
So
yeah.
don't come believing it's just going to be a walkthrough. We
Yeah.
have something here for you as
And
well.
not just any kind of food. This isn't like your continental breakfast,
Yeah,
right? We're at
yeah.
the JCA.
You get food.
You know what you're going to eat.
You get
here.
real
Yeah,
food.
yeah.
You get
I
something
see
that
the
will
chefs
sustain.
walking back and forth.
Yes.
Yeah, like there's like Caribbean food here. Yeah.
Exactly. So we're just going to give you a spin as to what is happening on the inside as well. And we come right back here with so many more interesting interviews. We're going to be talking with the doctors, the staff, people who are just stopping by.
Yeah.
And of course, just a real way for us to connect today on this very special and monumentous occasion.
Yeah.
So let us see what's happening on the inside.
Having patients that have been giving us blessings on blessings. They're just so excited to see Black healthcare professionals.
Yeah, and so many people are getting their second doses, so they're fully vaccinated, and I really feel like I'm being able to make a change and sort of take an active role in making sure that we get over this pandemic. What inspired me to volunteer today was that I'm really passionate about sort of being able to help in any way possible in terms of getting folks vaccinated, especially folks who are marginalized. And with the changes in the medical curriculum because of the pandemic, a vaccine clinic is one of many great ways of being able to interact with patients, being able to interact with healthcare workers in general, and have a great time.
What Samira said, I also motivated me to come out today through the Black Medical Student Association. We got the call out, everybody was interested, and so coming here, being able to be part of something this meaningful. Even now, working with a Black physician who in between patients is talking to me about his specialty, talking to me about medicine in general, and also having patients that have been giving us blessings on blessings. They're just so excited to see Black healthcare professionals.
Yeah, and so many people are getting their second doses, so they're fully vaccinated, and I really feel like I'm being able to make a change and sort of take an active role in making sure that we get over this pandemic. What inspired me to volunteer today was that I'm really passionate about sort of being able to help in any way possible in terms of getting folks vaccinated, especially folks who are marginalized. And with the changes in the medical curriculum because of the pandemic, a vaccine clinic is one of many great ways of being able to interact with patients, being able to interact with healthcare workers in general, and have a great time.
What Samira said, I also motivated me to come out today through the Black Medical Student Association. We got the call out, everybody was interested, and so coming here, being able to be part of something this meaningful. Even now, working with a Black physician who in between patients is talking to me about his specialty, talking to me about medicine in general, and also having patients that have been giving us blessings on blessings. They're just so excited to see Black healthcare professionals.
Yeah, and so many people are getting their second doses, so they're fully vaccinated, and I really feel like I'm being able to make a change and sort of take an active role in making sure that we get over this pandemic. What inspired me to volunteer today was that I'm really passionate about sort of being able to help in any way possible in terms of getting folks vaccinated, especially folks who are marginalized. And with the...
Of course, welcome back here. So we're actually talking with the chef extraordinaire, Traffic Man Tony.
Yes,
Tony,
sir.
tell us about what's going on the inside on the menu side.
Well, at the menu side, what we're doing, we're cooking. We have been doing this from the get-go, from
Yeah.
they started here at the Jamaica Canadian Center.
Yeah.
And I think it's the fourth time now we're doing this.
Wonderful.
So what we do, we entertain our people.
Yes.
We do soup.
Yeah.
We do two different soup, vegetarian soup and meat soup.
Yeah.
So for people who don't eat meat. So
Yeah.
we actually cook for about 2,000 people.
Wonderful. And this is the fourth clinic. Fourth
Yes,
clinic?
right.
Wonderful. And you've been cooking for the 4 clinics.
For the 4 clinics.
Okay, wonderful. So you say
And
vegetarian options. What are we looking
Vegetarian
at?
option
And the meat.
and the meat, chicken
Yes.
and vegetarian option,
Okay.
corn and
Wonderful.
etc. etc. Plus we do for the volunteer like yourself, and we
Yeah.
cook food like chicken, fish, whatever, just for volunteers like
Yes.
the doctors, the nurses, etc. So we do like 250 of that per day. So we do
Wonderful.
Saturday and Sunday.
And how important is nutrition and having a balance, even breakfast, before doing all that we're doing, blood pressure check, glucose check, and even the vaccine is important?
Well, everything is important. You have to know your nutrition, how you do it.
Yes.
Number one, I'm a cook, but I don't cook with salt.
Oh,
Okay?
Yes.
I try avoid the salt. I use a little bit because most of these seasoning
Yes.
that you're getting now, they already have salt in
in
it.
them.
So you have to be careful how you use those particular seasoning. And
Yes.
I find myself, good in what I do.
Yes.
And plus we are doing things here from the COVID started. I'm
Yes.
going to switch a little bit.
yes.
We have a thing called meals to go
Oh.
that we have been cooking here from the COVID started. We've
Yes.
served like 300 seniors, students, etc., etc. All catered by Jamaica Canadian
Canadian
Center,
Association.
Elaine Thompson, Dene Patterson. They are the volunteers that in charge of that. We are still the cook, so we cooking non-stop.
Okay, wonderful.
You know
And
me.
of course, you definitely want to come out down. When you come out down, you promise you'll be fed.
You'll be fed.
You'll be
Once you
fed.
come and get your vaccine, there's something for you. Patties,
Yes.
soup, whatever you request, we have it here. Entertainment is here
Yes,
also.
absolutely.
You know what I mean?
And food and music.
And food and music. You know
Goes
what I mean?
together
And
quite
plus,
well.
it's Carabana weekend.
It's Carabana weekend as well, and Emancipation weekend as well.
As well,
So it's
so-
just a, what is that? Triple celebration.
And it's Jamaica Independent as well. So there we
Hey,
go.
we got it.
We got it
It's
there.
Four
And also,
four celebrations in one.
I have my partner here that we
Yes.
work together like a bird of a feather. I don't know
Yes.
if you want to come over.
Come on and
and
show your face on camera. Just come show your face on
and
camera.
say something. My brother Sugar.
Sugar, just click the mic and let Sugar say a few words. But of course, Sugar, you can just hold on to that. You can just hold on to that.
yeah.
So Sugar, you've been assisting the traffic man himself in the kitchen.
Yes, I'm a chef for 27 years,
Yes.
and I do all cookings like any kind of
Yeah.
food. I cook.
So what have you found, like the COVID-19 experience and cooking all those meals to the community?
You
How has
know-
that impacted you personally, for one? And how do you think that has impacted
You
the
know,
community?
I just think about it all the time, and I say, my God, some people cannot get to go out.
Yes.
So what I do, I love to enjoy to cook for them.
Yes.
That they can get their meal.
Yeah.
Because it have a lot of impact on people. They can't go to buy nothing, they can't go to a restaurant to eat, So what we do here, is good for me. That means we can cook for them and them send them meal, go get them,
Yes.
Because we don't take cook meal and come inside.
No.
We prepare it here and cook it and send
Yes.
it out, go get them. I only 2 chefs.
Yes.
And
Yourself and traffic.
Traffic man, yeah.
Yeah.
So we make sure we cook all those meals and send it out to them. So when they
Wonderful.
get those meals, it properly look after.
Okay,
What I eat
wonderful.
for myself,
Yes.
I want you to eat it.
Absolutely, but
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah.
What you want to eat for yourself,
Yeah.
give it to others as well.
Well, what go to my belly,
Yes.
you can eat it.
Absolutely.
Right,
And we want to say thank you so much for your
Yes, sir.
service
Yes,
during the pandemic and also as we emerge from the pandemic, sir.
Yes,
Have
sir.
a great day, okay?
Thank you very much, sir, and God bless.
Thank you so much. And that is what this is all about. That is what this is all about. This is all about community and the community coming together to, of course, help for a bigger cause, and that's health and wellness. And if you come on down today for whatever it may be, they promise you'll be fed.
Never fail.
You'll be fed. And of course, we're just going to take another spin and be right back right here.
Thank you.
You're welcome, sir. Have a good one. Hi, how are you? Good. Have a seat.
How are you?
I am wonderful.
Awesome.
And you?
Glenda Roy. I'm great.
Well, Miss Roy, thank you so much. And you're here with the doctors?
I am here.
You see, she's giving us strict instructions. Don't let the flag touch the floor. No, it's not supposed to. It's not supposed to.
Oh, sweet. What happened here?
I took the pen out. Take this.
Where should I put this then?
You know what? If you want me to hold up one end and you hold one end, we can do that. Okay, we can do that. Okay, nice. Miss Glenda, you're with?
I am.
You're with? Which organization? You're just here to get a test?
Just a client, a patient.
Oh, test your mic?
Mine.
Yeah. Okay, wonderful. Yeah, so you're with? Oh, you came alone, no problem. That's what we want. That is what we want. Okay, okay. Let me know when you're ready, Kenny. Wonderful. And one of the amazing things about Jamaicans, you know them wherever they are. And you see this? She came with her flag. Miss Glenda Roy came with her flag today to get her vaccine. Miss Roy, you're here. What brought you here exactly?
Oh, well, I came today to get
Yeah.
my second dose of the vaccine.
Wonderful. And which one would you be getting
I
today?
took the Pfizer.
Okay. And you're going to get a second dose of the Pfizer.
I've already done both today. Today?
Miss Glenda is an A student. Miss Glenda, I think I have a gift here for you. Here's a pen.
Ah,
Here's
thank
a pen.
you.
Thank you so much for taking the initiative
Oh.
and representing Jamaica so wonderfully on Emancipation Day weekend.
Such a pleasure.
But it's health and wellness. Did you only get your vaccine shot or you also checked your blood pressure?
I checked my blood pressure.
And it's good?
It's good.
And your blood glucose?
Awesome.
It's awesome. So
Yes.
here's a healthy Miss Roy here representing for the community. But how important it is, do you think, though, for the community to come on down, get their blood pressure checked, get their glucose, and if possible, the vaccine?
It is of paramount importance that everyone should come and get their vaccine at this point in time.
Yes.
Yeah.
And is there anyone that you told particularly to come on down with you?
I have called many people,
Yes.
and they have come.
Wonderful.
Will be coming.
Yes.
And maybe by the end of the day, they should all be here.
Wonderful. So you heard it from Miss Roy herself. Come on down, get your health checked upon. And we want to do this as regularly as possible, but of course for today, Emancipation Weekend, we're offering the service right here at 995 Arrow Road at the Jamaican Canadian Association. So come on down and like Miss Glenda, get yourself checked and get yourself healthy.
Thank
you so much, Miss
very
Glenda.
much. You're welcome. It was a pleasure. Thank you.
Of course. Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much. I love this. I love this.
I watched the video. Did you see the video?
I haven't watched it as yet, and I'm missing it. Oh my God.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You are welcome. Have a great day, okay? Andrea, you want to take over now?
Do they need an umbrella? I think I have an umbrella in the car.
Changes in the medical curriculum because of the pandemic. A vaccine clinic is one of many great ways of being able to interact with patients, being able to interact with healthcare workers in general, and have a great time.
What Samira said, I also motivated me to come out today through the Black Medical Student Association. We got the call out, everybody was interested, and so coming here, being able to be part of something this meaningful. Even now, working with a Black physician who in between patients is talking to me about his specialty, talking to me about medicine in general, and also having patients that have been giving us blessings on blessings. They're just so excited to see Black healthcare professionals.
Yeah, and so many people are getting their second doses, so they're fully vaccinated, and I really feel like I'm being able to make a change and sort of take an active role in making sure that we get over this pandemic. What inspired me to volunteer today was that I'm really passionate about sort of being able to help in any way possible in terms of getting folks vaccinated, especially folks who are marginalized. And with the changes in the medical curriculum because of the pandemic, a vaccine clinic is one of many great ways of being able to interact with patients, being able to interact with healthcare workers in general, and have a great time.
What Samira said, I also motivated me to come out today through the Black Medical Student Association. We got the call out, everybody was interested, and so coming here, being able to be part of something this meaningful. Even now, working with a Black physician who in between patients is talking to me about his specialty, talking to me about medicine in general, and also having patients that have been giving us blessings on blessings. They're just so excited to see Black healthcare professionals.
Yeah, and so many people are getting their second doses, so they're fully vaccinated, and I really feel like I'm being able to make a change and sort of take an active role in.
Come and get COVID tested, come and get your jab. We have Moderna, we have Pfizer, and come and get your blood glucose levels checked. I'm sitting with two wonderful doctors, two amazing people in our community. I will let you introduce yourselves and tell us why you're here.
So my name is Akwatu Kenti, and I'm here because we need to get the last segment of our community vaccinated at all costs, because we need to have community protection, or what's called herd immunity, because we have more risk. We're doing more essential work. We're leaving our houses to go to work. We can't work from home. So we face more risk. Therefore, we actually have to be more vigilant about protection. So I'm here to push out the message, encourage our people to come and get vaccinated so that they can protect themselves, protect their families, and protect our community.
Oh, great. And your colleague, good morning. Or I think we're almost afternoon now.
It's good afternoon. I'm Dr. Upton Allen. I'm head of infectious diseases at Sick Kids. And in fact, along with Dr. Kenti, we're members of the Black Scientist Task Force on Vaccine Hesitancy. And the important message here is that people like myself and Dr. Kenti, we provide support in several areas, but one key essential point is that we want to ensure that people who get vaccinated do so with the provision of information that is accurate. And so that anyone who has any questions about whether or not they should be vaccinated, we can help to provide them with correct information so that they make informed decisions.
I know that misinformation is such a big challenge. Can you tell us about the task force? How many members are on the task force, and which disciplines do they come from and represent?
I'm going to let Dr. Kenti address that.
Yeah, so thank you. So we have a task force whose membership is comprised of scientists involved in the life course of a vaccine. So from the development of the vaccine, the clinical trials of the vaccine, the regulatory processes of the vaccine, the quality evaluation of the vaccine, vaccine allergies, understanding the results of the vaccine, and keeping on top of severe adverse events, or to know whether there's racial effects or racial outcomes. So we have people who can speak to the life cycle of a vaccine and communicate that to our community, so that we don't need to go outside to get accurate information as we normally have done for the past 200 years. We have people who are capable and have the expertise. Sorry, mask.
Yeah.
They have the expertise to answer any question from a position of credibility and science.
Yeah.
That's unique. It's never happened before in 200 years.
200 years. And I know you've been doing town halls right across the city. Do you still find a lot of hesitancy or a lot of people promoting misinformation?
Yes, we had 4 town halls recently, the past 2 weeks.
Yo, good.
And it's the same proportion of people coming in. About 30% of the people come in, they're getting vaccinated, they just have a few questions.
Yeah.
About 40% of the people come in and they're not sure, should they? And about 15% come in and say, no, I'm not getting vaccinated.
Okay.
I'm just here to hear what you have to say. So what we are finding is that about 20 to 30% of the people who come in vaccine hesitant, they listen to what we have to say, and they're willing to go leave and think about it.
Right.
And that's important.
Oh yeah, so even those that are coming that are vaccine hesitant, at least they're hearing the information. You're slowly seeping in the good knowledge that we need to follow public health guidelines. We need to take care of ourselves and our neighbors and our family, right? Our seniors are vulnerable, our kids are vulnerable. We're getting ready for back to school, so we need to do our part as citizens, as Canadian citizens, to keep everyone safe and healthy.
Yeah, I think that's in fact, I think that's really important. It's really an important point that Dr. Kent has made in terms of the people who are delivering the messages to the Black community. we have to recognize first that important, accurate information is crucial, but also who delivers the information.
Yes.
And you want to ensure that it's from individuals who the community respect, recognize, trust, and that they represent a spectrum of individuals from different areas of the communities with which individuals can identify.
Right, which is so important because a lot of the times in all sorts of industries we don't have a seat at the table, or we don't have any representation. We have a task force of Black professional medical doctors and healthcare professionals advocating on our behalf and educating us, and you have a seat at the table. I frequently hear you interacting with city council officials or even the province, trying to represent us and share the information, and then bringing that back to the community, which is so important.
So just let me add a couple of additional points which I think are very relevant to the community, because the task force has made the effort to be representative of the communities.
Yes, yes.
So we have continental African represented, we have the Caribbean represented, we got Afro-Europe represented, and so we have male, female, across the board represented orientation, sexual orientation. So we are open and we are targeting every vulnerable segment of our community. Inmates, farm workers, childcare workers, long-term care workers, taxi drivers, police officers, correction officers. This is the first time the effort has been made to go to target every segment of the community, to leave no one untouched by understanding of what COVID means and what the vaccine means.
Right, so you're touching all industries and all ages and all genders and everyone.
One group that I think it's really important that we pause and think about very carefully is the individuals, are individuals less than 30 years of age.
Okay.
So young folks, we really need to continue to work hard and maybe even work harder to ensure that they're vaccinated.
Right.
That we identify mechanisms to contact them, to reach out to them, and to get them out to be vaccinated. That's a real important group, and it is a challenge across all communities, not just racialized communities.
Yes.
And so we just need to work on that.
Do you think it's that we're not targeting them, or they're just not receptive to the message? Or is it just they're not hearing it because we're not delivering it in a way they like to receive messages?
It's likely multifactorial. Traditionally, messages, when they're developed, they tend to be developed to be targeted at the average person. And often that average person is somebody, age 30 to 60 or above. But we really need special approaches for youth. And we've certainly, through the Black Scientist Task Force, have addressed that. But we need to continue to address that, and we need the help of others, leaders in the communities, to ensure that the youth are not missed out.
Right, absolutely. So now we're watching globally, we're seeing some countries or some cities having some challenges. We hear talks of a fourth wave, which is why it's so important for everyone to get tested and to get your vaccination. So come on down to the JCA to get either your first or your second vaccination. And which vaccinations are they doing today?
Both Pfizer and Moderna.
Okay.
So you have a choice, and they're both top of the line vaccines. So no problem in terms of choice. And one of the points that Dr. Upton was making is about our young people, getting our young people under 30, because even though they're healthy, they're still vulnerable.
Right.
They live in neighborhoods, they interact, they socialize, they can take it home.
Right, and they can be vectors. They can carry the virus.
They may not be symptomatic, but they could carry the virus to their relatives, elder relatives,
right,
who are more likely to get severe COVID.
Exactly.
And not only severe COVID, we have something called long COVID. So you get long COVID, you're going to be sick for a while. You're going to have symptoms for months and months, which nobody wants.
Nobody wants that.
So now we really got to mobilize
Right.
our community, all levels, all ages, all sectors, to be protected from this pandemic, because we are more at risk.
We are. Now, so I want to talk about being more at risk. You mentioned that taxi drivers, essential service workers. Why in general has COVID disproportionately affected the Black community?
There are several reasons, and both myself and Dr. Kenty, we can speak to that. There are the social determinants of health, which are important. In fact, one of my colleagues said that COVID is like an onion that brings out the tears associated with the social determinants of health.
Yeah.
So it's really just bringing out the issues that have been existing for a long time.
Right.
Issues relating to discrimination,
Yeah.
racism, access to health care, several factors, poverty,
Yep.
all of those come together. All of those as well influence the likelihood that communities have predisposing underlying medical conditions
Right.
that they themselves lead to an increased risk of a bad outcome,
Right.
like diabetes
Yes.
and heart disease and
Yeah.
so forth. So essentially we're looking at the social determinants of health in the broadest sense. But it's also important to recognize as we think about why certain communities, like Black communities, are disproportionately affected. We also need to recognize that in Ontario and certainly in Toronto, we have seen tremendous gains.
Yeah.
And Dr. Kenty can speak to some of this, to where we were in June, July of last year versus where we are now. And then maybe you could comment on some of those important gains.
Yeah. So last August, we were 30% of the COVID
30%
in
of
Toronto
COVID?
last
Yep.
August. Although we're 9% of the population, right? About 9% of the population, 30% of the COVID,
9% of the population, but
30% of COVID.
Okay,
So that means we're 3 times the rate that we ought to be.
right.
This year, we're about 14% of COVID. We 10 to 14. So
Okay.
we're very close to our level in the population. We've actually reduced.
That is great. And
That's a
so
significant
that
accomplishment.
is significant, and you two are responsible. Part of the responsibility lies on you two. Thank you for helping us get that number down. I know
City of Toronto.
it's the city
City
of
of
Toronto, but it's
Toronto.
also this task force, and you're both on this, and I personally want to thank you, and our community wants to thank you. You helped bring those numbers down. Dr. Allen talked about
Thank you.
underlying factors. Come and get your blood sugar tested. Come and get your blood pressure tested, and come and get COVID tested, Moderna and Pfizer. So come on down. We're at the JCA. We're here until 6 p.m. Doctors, thank you so much for your time, and thank you for all the good work.
Thank you.
Go in peace.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Come on, get
Thank
Come on
you.
down.
Sure that we get over this pandemic. What inspired me to volunteer today was that I'm really passionate about sort of being able to help in any way possible in terms of getting folks vaccinated, especially folks who are marginalized. And with the changes in the medical curriculum because of the pandemic, a vaccine clinic is one of many great ways of being able to interact with patients, being able to interact with healthcare workers in general, and have a great time.
What Samira said, I also motivated me to come out.
No need to fight it when you know it feels right. You say you're a woman who knows what she likes, then show me. You got to show me. You tell me all day that you're lonely. Well, show me tonight. Yeah. Well, show me. You got to show me. You tell me all day that you're lonely. Show me
Black Physicians of Ontario, right? Black Physicians. Yeah. Hello, hi, how are you? Okay, no problem. Thank you. Sure. Go ahead. Thank you. Sure.
Hello, testing.
And of course, I'm being joined by two amazing doctors in our community right now. They're from the Black Physicians of Ontario. Wonderful. And of course, we have Dr. Neil Isaac and Dr.
Dr. Esho.
Dr. Esho. So the thing is, it's about health, it's about wellness, it's about vaccinations, doctor. And I'm seeing the award here. You have been so instrumental in the community, spreading the health and wellness word and the vaccine message. Just give us some insights into that, though.
Sure. Well, first of all, this award is on behalf of all the Black Physicians of Ontario who are part of our organization.
Yes.
Yes. So we have been working throughout the pandemic, doing vaccine pop-ups, vaccine information webinars, that sort of thing. We've been recruiting people to come in and get vaccinated. So this is the work that we've been doing, and we're very passionate about it. We think that this is the mission of the Black Physicians of Association of Ontario to help our people, basically.
Absolutely. And so you've been with the clinic. This is the third one that's going on. So you've been here for the 3 clinics. But of course, information on the vaccines, though. We have a lot of hesitancies going on, and I want you to just give us some quick facts about the vaccines.
So I think, as you say, there is a lot of hesitancy, there's a lot of questions. And what I see that as an opportunity. It means there's people who haven't had a chance maybe to have some information, right? So COVID vaccines have been developed over the last year. People often say they've been developed quickly, but the technology that underpins the vaccines we're using today, which is the mRNA vaccines, the Pfizer, the Moderna, actually have been in development for decades and have been used in other applications. This is the first time it's been directed towards vaccinations for a disease in particular, but it's been used in cancer treatments and other therapies, and it's found to be safe and effective.
So
and the technology was invented by a Black woman at the NIH. So it's,
and you know what? She has Jamaican linkage. So the Jamaican Canadian Heritage Association is about Jamaica there. And of course, quick facts as well. The Jamaican female 100 team just won gold, silver, and bronze at the Olympics. So it's a big day celebrated across the Jamaican community here in Canada, in the diaspora as well. Well, elsewhere in the diaspora and back home in Jamaica. But of course, we heard the mayor saying we need more kind of like community-centric and real getting into those communities and postal codes that have real hesitancy issues and have questions about it, and they're opting for a new way or a new approach. How does this help, though?
I think it helps a lot. I mean, a lot of people, if once you get down to the micro level, you get down to like buildings or like certain small neighborhoods, small postal codes. I think you're targeting the people that you need to get to, the people that you know that you're going to get, the people that you want to get, and not people that are coming in from all over the world, essentially all over the city, to try and come in and get that vaccine. So I think this is the way we have to go forward now. I think we've done the mass clinics, we've done the big pop-ups. I think now it's
we've done the Rexalls and the Shoppers Drug Mart and all those.
Yeah, I mean some of those help, but initially they were all up and down Yonge Street and then the downtown. So they weren't in Northwest Toronto or Northeast Toronto. So there was an issue with availability to some of these neighborhoods that needed access to vaccine. Now they've done a much better job of getting it out there, but still we need to get some access out there.
Wonderful. And some of the things that we're also doing here today, we're checking blood pressure, we're checking blood glucose. Those linked with COVID-19. We heard on the onset that it was personal pre-existing conditions. Pre-existing conditions meaning, doctor?
Yeah, so we know that there are definite linkages between hypertension, diabetes, obesity, and worse COVID outcomes. That being said, with some of the newer variants, we're seeing even in people who are younger and healthier are getting quite sick. So on one hand, it is important to screen for these conditions. We know disproportionately our communities do tend to suffer from high blood pressure, diabetes, and those are things that we definitely want to address because there's a preventative piece, right? We want to catch that blood pressure before it can cause kidney damage or heart damage. We want to catch that blood sugar so we can get you appropriately treated and managed. And likewise, we want to vaccinate you so that you don't end up in the hospital or in the ICU.
So your impassioned plea today would be what?
Come here, we're trying to be a full circle wellness care here today, so in the midst of a pandemic. So we're not only about COVID vaccines, we're doing, as we talked about, the blood pressure, the wellness check, the blood sugar. We also have COVID testing. So, and that's free COVID testing. So if you need it to be tested for work, or if you need it tested for vacation, if you want to travel, if you need it just because you think you might have it, we are offering that here again. So these are all services that we like to offer at the pop-up.
And any final words to the community as well before we go though?
So I would encourage you to come down if you have any questions or concerns. Even if you don't want vaccine, come and talk to us. We have doctors from a wide variety of specialties. You can ask your questions about fertility, about heart issues, anything that you may have in terms of relations to adverse effects from vaccine. We're happy to talk to you. We're happy to vaccinate you, but we're happy to leave you with good information to maybe make a decision at a later date.
Absolutely, and that is what today's clinic is all about. We're not just giving you a jab, we're giving you information as well. We're not just testing you, but also giving you the information you need as well. So you definitely want to come on down and get that full, well-rounded service right here at the Jamaican Canadian Association. Thank you so much, doctors, and have a wonderful day, okay?
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Please come on down.
Through the Black Medical Student Association, we got the call out, everybody was interested, and so coming here, being able to be part of something this meaningful. Even now, working with a Black physician who in between patients is talking to me about his specialty, talking to me about medicine in general, and also having patients that have been giving us blessings on blessings. They're just so excited to see Black healthcare professionals.
Yeah, and so many people are getting their second doses, so they're fully vaccinated, and I really feel like I'm being able to make a change and sort of take an active role in making sure that we get over this pandemic. What inspired me to volunteer today was that I'm really passionate about sort of being able to help in any way possible in terms of getting folks vaccinated, especially folks who are marginalized. And with the changes in the medical curriculum because of the pandemic, a vaccine clinic is one of many great ways of being able to interact with patients, being able to interact with healthcare workers in general, and have a great time.
What Samira said, I also motivated me to come out today through the Black Medical Student Association. We got the call out, everybody was interested, and so coming here, being able to be part of something this meaningful. Even now, working with a Black physician who in between patients is talking to me about his specialty, talking to me about medicine in general, and also having patients that have been giving us blessings on blessings. They're just so excited to see Black.
Show me that love unconditionally. Make believe we're alone, just you and me. Take the problems, leave them behind. Don't let it show. Go, baby, go, baby, go, baby, go, baby, go. I feel good when you're wrapped up in my arms, dancing to a reggae song. Feel good, feel good.
This is a serious time, violence and crime, and up here gun thing the youths them up on their mind. Oh, them bust it when rain a fall. You know see say them no care, them your youth bust it all when sun a shine. Oh, you know see up here juvenile. Yeah, I'ma lock the big guns out the street. And them a bust it up. Oh, where them get it from? Nobody know. The father was a killer. Oh, well, I saved how them grow. Oh, I know me can't sleep. No matter how me try to do it, me can't sleep. Up here gunshot to beat. Me can't sleep. No matter how me try to do it, me can't sleep. Up here blood in the streets.
Sometimes I shave my legs and sometimes I don't. Sometimes I comb my hair and sometimes I won't. Depending on how the wind blows, I might even hang my toe. It really just depends on whatever feels good in my soul. Not the average girl from your video, and I ain't built like a supermodel, but I learned to love myself unconditionally because I am a queen. I'm not the average girl from your video. My worth is not determined by the price of my clothes. No matter what I'm wearing, takes on me. My feet, my thighs, my lips.
India Ari.
India Ari. Because I am.
Because, and that's the vibe right here at the JCA. I mean, it's fun music and food as well as getting yourself healthy and well and renewed, emerging from COVID-19. That's the atmosphere they're giving. It's giving black realness, isn't it?
It is. And you know, you just talk about food and
Yes.
music is all a part of self-care. You need to move. I tell people, movement is my medicine. You
Yes.
gotta move. And we haven't moved in months. There's been no exercising, there's been no dancing, there's been no
Yes.
stretching.
Yes.
There's been a lot of, you know, sitting in front of a computer on a
Exactly.
conference call or a video call doing that thing,
Wonderful.
right? Yes.
But at the moment, the lady of the hour is dancing over here, but we can't delay any longer.
That's right.
So let us just bring her in here. Surprise, 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 surprise. Surprise, surprise. Surprise, surprise. Let us
What
move
kind
her
of
in.
surprise?
Come on in.
I love a surprise.
You love a surprise.
I love a
Well,
surprise.
it is the lovely, Adoma Patterson, president of the Jamaica Canadian Association. And let me do this.
Oh,
Hats off
Okay,
for
Robin.
the amazing organization of today's event. And this is your third one.
Yes.
This is your third one.
Thank
and
you
we
so much,
must
Andrea.
say
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, you're quite
And
welcome.
On behalf of the community, thank you. We know there's been a lot of vaccine hesitancy or
Yes.
just confusion, questions, discomfort.
Yes.
This is like home.
Yes.
You're asking everybody to come on home, like the Big Mama's house.
Food is
and-
always at home.
Exactly. That's right.
Music is always
yeah,
and family.
Good
And
energy
family.
and
Yes.
right.
But of course, Ms. Patterson, though, putting this thing together, though, I mean, you saw the need for it, and you got your team together, you got the community together,
Yes.
and we've done it 3 times.
Right. This is our third time, and you know, it is a labor of love, as you've talked about. When you come here, you just feel the energy and the positivity. It is wonderful to walk into a space and see Black physicians,
Yes.
Black health staff.
Yeah.
You know, and people even outside of the community have commented that some have never seen a Black doctor. Right? In 2021,
Yes.
there are people within the community and outside who have not seen a Black doctor.
Wow.
And,
And
so
we're changing those narratives.
we are absolutely changing, and the Black Physicians of Ontario have done an amazing job in really supporting and providing just a caring experience for people who are scared. Many people are still afraid
Yeah.
of what could happen, what won't happen, should I take the vaccine and
Yes.
shouldn't I, you know, and so we're honored to be working with a wonderful group of partners.
Tell us about your partners. Who you're partnering with?
Yeah.
So, our sister organization, Caribbean African Canadian Social Services. So we are sort of co-hosting this event.
Yes.
And we have the Black Creek Community Health Center.
Yes.
And so Cheryl is a leader in this work, in just creating the clinics that have been for vulnerable individuals and the Black community.
Yeah.
And UHN, so our hospital partners, because of course you need the vaccine,
need the
right?
vaccine.
You need the vaccine.
And you need people who know how to
And
do
we
that.
need people who can administer those vaccines.
right.
Yeah.
And so UHN has been an awesome system partner.
Nice.
They came in and they said, this is your clinic. You are all the experts in community.
Nice.
We are here to support you. And that's exactly what they've done.
Absolutely.
That's
and that is
great.
absolutely wonderful. But to partner it with Emancipation Weekend, that's where the real genius is.
Yeah.
That's the genius.
Yes.
So tell us about that, of course. The very first time, as we said, being celebrated in Canada,
Right.
and we jumped on it.
Right, of
Yeah.
course. And so, you know, this is just another evidence of who we are, right? And we thought it was important to marry the two things.
Yeah.
To have people come out, celebrate such an important milestone in our community, reflect on emancipation. And so tomorrow we will actually have a ceremony with the Honorable Jean Augustine.
Oh, right here?
Right here at
Right here.
12:30.
Nice.
And we will have faith leaders. We will have an imam, a pastor, a rabbi, come to talk about the importance of emancipation and also of care and vaccines.
Very nice.
And encourage their communities to, to get vaccinated.
That is excellent.
Yes.
So, Adoma, you've been such a force in the community. Can you tell us how long you've been at the JCA and what drives you? What is motivating you to get up every day to keep doing what you're doing?
Doing great work.
Oh, thank you. So I am in my 6th year as president. It is my final. Yes, so we can...
Going out with a bang.
Yes, you are. And you raised the bar.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
You know what? Thank you very much. Honestly, what motivates you? I love our community.
Yeah.
I love seeing our impact, celebrating our stories.
Yeah.
Telling a different side, right? To the often the negative that you hear. Working across generations. Our oldest member is 100.
Wow.
Miss Amy is 100 years old.
Shout out to you, Miss
Yes,
Amy.
right.
If you're watching at home, we send
Yes,
100,
that's right.
nice.
She turned 100, and our first president, Roy Williams, is 92,
Nice.
still active. So there's such a rich legacy for the Jamaican Canadian Association, and we've done some important things. And so this hosting and co-hosting this clinic is really along that line, right? And in that vein, it's our way of contributing the building, our name, talking about
And
the
the community as
hesitancy,
well.
yes,
Right. Yeah.
to the community and just supporting them. So,
Yes. So, Ms. Patterson, though, we're not going to hold you up any further. I know you've been running around this entire
I know,
property.
yeah.
She's probably the most fit person here today.
It's
she has
true.
been doing her laps.
getting
and
my
doing her-
steps in.
Absolutely, but that is what it's about here today,
Yeah.
and that is what is going on at the Jamaican Canadian Association. Listen in the background.
Yes.
You
You hear
hear those
that?
steel
You
pans?
hear
The
that?
pan,
Caribbean
that's
vibe.
right.
That's right.
And you can come and have some patties. We have beef patties
Yeah.
and soup.
Yes.
you
Yeah,
know.
her chicken soup and
Yes,
vegetable
that's
soup.
right.
Yeah,
That's right. And coconut water, real coconut
Yes.
water from the coconut will be here.
Okay.
Yes.
Good.
So
Well, you're doing
Okay.
a great job. Keep up the good work.
Thank
and everyone,
you.
come on down. We're here till, is it 6?
On to
yes,
six.
we're here until 6.
p.m. at the JCA, and you know where the JCA is. Come on down to the JCA. Come and get tested. Blood glucose, high blood pressure. Come get your blood pressure tested. Come and get your vaccination. Come on down.
Absolutely.
Thank you guys.
You're
we appreciate
welcome.
your support.
Thanks.
You are welcome.
All right. Thank you, Adoma.
Okay, fair enough. Great, thank you. Okay.
Andrea, bring us in. Bring us in.
Ready?
So I've got your name here.
I'm Romaine Redmond.
Romaine Redmond.
And this
Andrea
is
Barrett.
Andrew Barrett.
Yes.
Good.
Okay. All right. Here we are at the JCA at the Health and Wellness Clinic, encouraging everyone to come on down to get their blood pressure checked, their blood glucose checked, to get COVID tested, and to get your vaccine. We encourage everyone to come on down, get your first or second shot right here at the JCA. And here we are sitting with Dr. Wharton. Good afternoon, doctor.
Good afternoon. It's great to be here.
Would you like to introduce yourself? Tell us about your practice.
Exactly, sure. So I am an internal medicine doctor. So that's a specialist doctor, and I primarily work within the obesity and the diabetes field. So, and I've been working within looking at the Black community in terms of high blood pressure and conditions that affect the Black community more so. So if we look at hypertension, at diabetes, and elevated weight, those are things that are disproportional in the Black community and cause health impairment.
Right, I need you to repeat that. So diabetes is near and dear to my heart. My mom and my grandmother had type 2 diabetes. Can you
Okay.
talk about, just repeat what you said about those 3 underlying factors that affect our community?
Right. So 3 major conditions that affect our community more than they do non-racialized communities is high blood pressure, which leads to strokes. Type 2 diabetes, not type 1, but the type 2 diabetes, which leads to a lot of medical conditions, coronary artery disease, amputations, and a lot of other things, and elevated weight. So, the fact that obesity leads to a number of these conditions, and is oftentimes sometimes an underlying condition. We now know that treating it makes a actual difference, a significant difference.
Okay, now is it correct that these conditions, comorbidities, make COVID-19 more dangerous for us?
Absolutely, yeah. So, and we know that for fact. And so things like elevated weight does for very good reasons, because there's inflammatory markers. So the inflammation coming from the fat cells goes to the rest of the body, and it causes more of an inflammatory condition. So COVID-19 is harder to actually treat, and it's worse. Same thing with high blood pressure and with type 2 diabetes. But we shouldn't always focus on how things are worse. I like focusing on what we can do to actually make it better. What are the positive messages that come out? And why do black people have more type 2 diabetes and high blood pressure? It's not because we're genetically predisposed to high blood pressure or to type 2 diabetes. It's because of structural racism. Structural racism and socioeconomic challenges has led us to have more of these medical conditions, like diabetes, which is somewhat a lifestyle condition, hypertension, which is a lifestyle condition. The more stress that you have on your body, on your mind, on your ability to work, leads you to have these diseases that are chronic medical conditions. If your doctor does not address your elevated blood sugar and say, you know what, this is in the wrong range, we should really look at treating you for it. If they don't do that, because they're like, oh, don't worry about it, that's not as super important in this person, but they see a non-racialized person and address it and say, hey, listen, this is important. Well, let me take care of you. That's structural racism. That's why we have more type 2 diabetes, not because of any other fancy reason. It's racism.
So, doctor, how can we help ourselves then? If that is the case, and while we fight on the forefront to get that systematic and structural racism broken down, with help from yourself and your organization really getting the message out there and really standing up for our community, how can we help ourselves?
Right. The way to help ourselves is to advocate. So, and it's not always for people to come to us in a paternalistic way, paternal being like a parent and telling us, you should eat better, you should eat less bread, you should eat less rice, you should exercise more. Like, yeah, we know that. We know the difference between food that is unhealthy for you and food that is healthy for you. Everybody does. So when people come to us with these simplistic messages like we don't understand or it's hard for us to know what the difference is, that's wrong. What they need to come to us with is you as an individual in this community deserve good care. Good care means going to your doctor on a regular basis and your doctor is saying that this is a condition that can be treated. This condition that can be helped. So I can monitor you more, make sure I bring you back to the clinic in another couple of months. In 3 months' time, I don't want you to miss your blood work. I want to check your blood pressure on a more regular basis. Maybe we'll start a medication for a little while, see how it goes, because that's the way that doctor would take care of the non-racialized group. Let him or her take care of our group the same way.
Right.
And doctor, how often should we be getting all these things done? Is it 6 months, every year, every quarter?
Dependent. It's dependent. If you know that you're on the borderline or you have family members that have had a heart attack, have heart disease, have diabetes, then you should get checked more. If you have a completely healthy family and you're really healthy as well, once every year, once every 2 years, once every 3 years, it's okay. So there's nothing particular about our race that predisposes us to this condition. The only thing that predisposes us to it is the fact that we don't get checked, or we don't have the socioeconomic status that the non-racialized groups do. So we don't have to get checked more just because we're black. We have to get checked, period. Because we're black. And then if you're at risk, then you need to get checked more. We need the same treatment as everybody else.
As everybody else, exactly. And that's what's happening here at the JCA. The doctor is talking about getting tested. We encourage you to come on down today. We're here until 6. You can get your blood glucose checked. can
Yeah.
get your blood pressure checked, and you can get COVID tested, as well as your vaccinations. So can you tell us about what's happening inside?
Oh yeah. So what's happening inside is we are giving the vaccines, and it takes a second to really get the vaccine, and it's important for us to get it because we know that we are at higher risk if we get COVID. And I have a good friend who is now struggling because he missed his vaccine. He was about 2 weeks out from getting the vaccine, and he's been in the hospital and the intensive care unit for 3 months. It's hurting us really badly. Thank you. And that's what we just don't want to see that. I mean, I know if he had the vaccine, his condition would have been a lot better. He wouldn't have been as sick. He'd be out already, and he isn't. So we need people to get vaccinated. It makes a difference.
Right. And within your patient base, do you find there's still a lot of misinformation or hesitancy when it comes to getting the vaccine?
So I don't think there's a lot in my patient base. So my patient base is a lot of the Canadians. Canadians who are out there in Ontario. When we look at our community, that's a different story. And so in our community, even some friends of mine who are connected to my mother and my family members, they do not want to get the vaccine because of the misinformation. Can we help them? We can help them by ensuring that everybody else is vaccinated. So we surround them with vaccinated people, the few that will not get it. And that's I don't like it, but what can we do? We can keep educating and talking to them, but some of them may not. But if all of us are vaccinated, 90%, 95%, we can protect the few that are not vaccinated.
Right, and it's important to protect the few. Like we need to take care of ourselves, our family, and the entire community. Not just the Black community, every Canadian. We are a part of the country. We need to make sure
because we
everyone is
do
safe.
come in contact with a wide variety of folks here in
All the
Canada.
time.
Absolutely. But of course, onus is on us here today, and we have the opportunity. The opportunity is right here. Everything is being done for free. Everything is being done. As I can tell you, we do have a line, but it's moving very quickly. So if you want to come on down, I can almost promise you that it will be a walk-in experience, but don't take my word for it. Just come on down and you'll see. Of course, Doctor, thank you so much. Dr. Sean Wharton, and the amazing work that you're doing.
One's here right now.
Thank you very much. I'm glad to be here.
Let me get my mask here. You did great.
What happened? Let me go. Yeah. All right. Let's bend. Stretch. Too high. Now drop your shoulders. Drop the shoulders. And keep stretching the hands. Drop the shoulders. Keep stretching the hands. And bend and curve. And up. And stretch. Drop the shoulders. So you want to drop the shoulders in the socket. Drop them down. Come on. Get those arms up. And bend. And up. And stretch. Drop the shoulders. Try and drop. Not the arms, the shoulders. So you want them to fit in here.
I'm with JCA. Wonderful, and I'm here being joined by Dr. Thompson, and he's here as one of the partners today with the Jamaican Canadian Association. But tell me, Doctor, there was a pull for you to be a part of this initiative. What was that pull?
Okay, so
the mic. Just put the mic up. Yes.
Okay. So
up a little closer to your yes.
Good. So as a public health personnel,
yes,
I know about the risk of COVID within the Black community. Yes. So anything at all to reduce that risk, I'm a part of. Yes. I've been a member of the JCA for over 20 years, a board member for over 10 years, and a public health personnel, like I said. So JCA doing an initiative like this, it's natural for me to be a part of the organizing.
And you mentioned that the fact that you are aware of what's going on within our community as a doctor serving the community. What have you been seeing, though? Describe some of the experiences that you've had throughout this pandemic.
Okay, so the rate of hesitancy, vaccine hesitancy, within the Black community is highest of all the communities in Canada. And the risk of COVID is higher within the Black community. So here you have a community with a higher risk of getting COVID with the highest rate of hesitancy.
So definitely something needed to be done. And again, you want to look at access versus hesitancy.
Yes.
Is it really hesitancy or is it barriers to getting the vaccine? So to address that barrier, if there's a barrier, we take the vaccine within the community so these people have access to that.
Absolutely. And the barriers though, I mean, Dr. Wharton was just here saying about there is a real barrier in terms of not being given proper access to some of the care that are available.
You don't mind if I take my mask off, right?
Yeah, it's okay. Go ahead, take your mask off. Yes, he's talking about some of the barriers being not getting access to some of the public health measures. He even mentioned the fact that, you know, serving the vaccines in Shoppers Drug Mart in some of those locations is outside of the community.
Absolutely. So you'll find a number of the majority of the pharmacies that are giving the vaccines are outside of this community. The community that needs it most have less of that, right? And in terms of the risk, occupations, the residency, so where these people live, where do they work, right? So they put them at higher risk of getting COVID. So these are the persons who really needed to be vaccinated. Okay, so to reduce that barrier, we have a barrier-free clinic here at the JCA. You know, where access is much easier. Persons within the black community, they are unlikely to line up at 12 o'clock at night to get a vaccine. You take it here, they will come out and get vaccinated.
During the day.
We have vaccinated over close to 5,000 persons over 2 clinics. That's 5,000 persons who might not have gone anywhere else.
True, true. So our vaccine supply on spot today is 5,000.
So far?
Yes.
This is our 3rd clinic.
Okay, yeah.
So over the last 2 clinics, we did close to 5,000 persons.
Wow, and that is absolutely wonderful. I mean, 5,000 persons within our community who have gotten the vaccine and has been protecting themselves and protecting their families as well. And that's absolutely wonderful. So I guess you're the one with the point person organizing this from a public health perspective and from the JCA perspective. What was that planning process like, reaching out to our community partners and all that?
So we started, I represent the JCA, like you said, but I have this public health background, right?
Exactly.
I was a former associate director of Toronto Public Health, right?
Wonderful.
Okay, so I know the public health perspective, and I know the community. I was a Jamaica Diaspora Advisory Board member, you know, for Canada, right? So I know the community knows me.
Exactly.
So reaching out to the community was not a big problem. So being a part of this is a natural fit for me.
Exactly. I want to say thank you so much for your efforts, both today, what you've done before, and what you'll do in the future as well, Doctor. And have yourself a great day, okay?
Absolutely.
It's a pleasure. And thank you so much for joining us. I mean, right now we're having some exercising going on over there, and I think I'm going to go get active as well. And you definitely want to stay with us on this journey. And don't go anywhere. We go on till 6 p.m. today, and you can also join us here again tomorrow. Well, not us here again tomorrow, but the location will be open for you to come on down tomorrow as well. So join me over on the exercising field, and we'll see you there, okay?
Thank you.
Forward. Now let me play bass. Think you have a standard in your hand and tip back and side. Come on. Move your hips. Boom, boom. Forward and back. Again. So normally, when you get tired, you stand. And Trinidad, we call it chipping. And back up. Again. Hands down. Chest. Chest. Leave your hands here. We're gonna step. One together, two together. Together. I'll turn around. Four, one, sorry. Four, four, four. Use your rib cage. For all those who can, double it up. Come on, all right, Jonathan. All right, give yourself a clap. Come on. Let's stretch it out. And hands. And bend the knees.
Testing 1, 2, Wendell Gibbs. All right. Testing 1, 2, Wendell Gibbs. Testing 1, 2, Wendell Gibbs. Okay.
And bend a curve.
Reverend Gibbs, yeah.
Twice more. When you reach, think of you bringing your arms
Hang on
up.
a second.
And as you go down, you keep them in, but they descend. So don't blow them out. Last time.
We had to drink straight. Look, the police come
And
load
then.
on the music, load on the music.
JCA
Police is coming.
995
I ain't
Hour
taking no
Road Rapid
phone.
Health and Wellness Clinic. We are encouraging everyone to come on down and get vaccinated. Come get your first jab or your second jab. They're also doing tests. Come get your blood glucose levels tested. We all know I talk all the time about type 2 diabetes and how important it is for members of our community to get tested, as well as get your blood pressure checked. And today, look who I found. I found Reverend Wendell Gibbs. How are you?
I'm well, thank you, and it's good to be with you, Andrea.
Good. I'm so glad you're here. So please introduce yourself to our viewers.
Well, my name is Wendell Gibbs, Reverend Gibbs, if you want to give me a title. I pastor First Baptist Church, Toronto, birthed in 1826, before slavery was abolished.
Wow.
So this weekend is an important one for us as we're celebrating officially for the first time Emancipation Day.
Oh, that's just so exciting.
Yes.
Where's the church located?
We're downtown Toronto at Dundas and Spadina area, and our founder, Christian Washington, he moved to Canada through the Underground Railroad as a slave from Virginia.
Wow.
And he birthed First Baptist Church in 1826.
1826.
Yeah.
Well, I encourage everyone to come and visit Reverend Gibbs at the First Baptist Church. Tell us why you're here today.
Well, I am here today for the third time supporting the Toronto Black Scientists Vaccine Task Force, Jamaican Association, and Black Creek, initiating and supporting and motivating people to get the vaccine, because this Delta strain now is becoming very serious for us, and to also recognize that this is the only solution that God has given us.
Okay, very important. So you're representing and working with such a great group. Here at the JCA, the Black Scientific Task Force, set up by the City of Toronto, some great partners like CAFCAN and the Black Physicians of Ontario. Please come on down, meet the doctors, meet the Reverend, learn more about what you can do to stay safe. It's so important to get vaccinated and get tested. Are you experiencing, or have you found in conversations you've had, that people are still hesitant and reluctant? What do you hear?
Yeah, there is quite a group of people who are still hesitant, listening to the wrong voices, I would suggest. So the faith community, and even within the faith community, there is dividing thoughts. But tomorrow, Sunday, August the 1st at 2 p.m., there's going to be a faith call for all leaders and pastors to come on out, who's going to support this initiative to inspire the congregants, the community, and all those within in the Black community especially, how important it is for us to participate in this vaccine.
It is so important because, as we all know, the Black community has been disproportionately impacted by COVID-19 in terms of our numbers and our stats and in the industries that we're in. Reverend, I understand, I have a card here that says you are a police chaplain.
Yes, I am.
What does that mean, and what division do you work with? Tell us
Well,
about that.
I am here because I'm a community advocate. I believe the faith community, the church in particular, evangelical Christian faith community, we need to be outside of the four walls, involved in the community and giving support to what's happening.
Right.
So I'm also a volunteer police chaplain. I work with 52 Division and 55 Division, but I'm also a champion across the whole of TPS. I was part of the funeral service just a couple of weeks ago for the fallen officer. But recognizing within our community as well that there is this difference of opinion in terms of law enforcement, the way they treat us in the community, and then how we respond in as well. So I'm a spiritual care to the police officers who are humans, who needs care, but also a champion for the cause of trying to find harmony between the law enforcement and community and the Black community as well, and how we work together.
Yeah, that's so important. We need a bridge, and there's no reason why we all should be working together for a greater goal.
Absolutely,
So,
absolutely.
all police services and all communities to make sure that we're all working together, supporting everyone, keeping us safe is what we need to do.
Yeah, And the George Floyd situation just over a year ago has risen cause for us to pay much more attention. And I think it's helping law enforcement, the TPS, to recognize some of the changes they need to implement as well to make sure that systemic racism right, and wrongful accusation and perhaps racial profiling, right, is nullified so we can be treated as human beings, one with the other. You treat us well, we treat you well, and there is unity and harmony in our community.
Right. Symbiotic relationship where everyone supports each other and we get along to continue to promote a safe community in safe
Precisely.
Ontario and safe Canada.
Yeah.
So when it comes to, we talk about faith-based, you find there is difference of opinion in terms of being vaccinated?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Why is that?
Well, I think social media in particular is the one that we are seeking for our answers and our research. And we're not talking to the experts. And I was just championing with someone yesterday. Have you spoken to a scientist or a doctor in your local community or your own physician to get perspective rather than social media or somebody else's opinion? We recognize that there are real issues when it comes to the black community and vaccine. We don't deny that for sure. But the reality is there is a global pandemic that's killing people.
Yes.
And there is an uprise right now against the variants that could cause even greater harm.
Yes.
So common sense dictates there is a need to be mindful of how we respond and think about our own well-being and the well-being of others. There is no longer a such thing as my rights when it comes to life and death. Because my rights can cause death to somebody else.
Absolutely. People pass on the variant. That's why,
That's right.
A, please get tested. B, come on down to the JCA. So if you haven't received your first vaccination or your second, we encourage you to come on down. It's a free clinic and the line is moving quickly. You'll have an opportunity to speak with Reverend Gibbs. There are medical professionals here and all sorts of organizations, community partners, and volunteers that really want to make sure you understand the message. We want to educate you to understand all the public health, safety, and guidelines to protect yourself and your loved ones and the broader community.
Absolutely.
As the Reverend mentioned, Delta variant is what we're hearing.
Well, let me make one last comment, and let me ask you and everybody else a question. With all the concerns around the vaccine and the misleading information and what the truth about it is, what other solution is there against this pandemic? We prayed for God to give us a solution for months. Last March, April, the churches were all praying for a solution. What other solution do we have against this virus that could eventually become a real life-killing pandemic? So my suggestion is common sense, because the vaccine right now is the only way of making sure we are protected and we are protecting others. So please come on down, join us here at JCA and wherever else you can go and get your vaccine, because is double vaccine.
All right, I like that. So yeah, like the Reverend said, please come on down. There's great food, there's great music. I don't know if you can hear it in the back. Come on down, get your vaccine, and get tested. Let's see what your blood sugar levels are. Let's see what your blood pressure levels are. It is so important to be tested. And if it wasn't for where we are now in terms of vaccination, you and I wouldn't be sitting here. We've been cooped up inside for months. We're not doing this virtually.
There it is.
We're here, live, in the flesh. We wouldn't be in this position unless the country and our city were as far ahead as we are now. So like the Reverend said, like you've been hearing all of this presentation, come on down. We're at the JCA, 995 Era Road. Come and get tested. Come and hear that music. Come and do some dancing.
And remember, God has not given you a spirit of fear,
right here.
power,
I tell you the excitement
and love, and of a sound mind.
I mean, it's fun.
Ask God to give you wisdom to think for yourself and make the right
galore.
decision.
Inside
and
we have
vaccine, because
over
vaccines
there we have
are
blood
a
pressure,
creation
blood sugar
from
tested.
God.
You want to come on
1
down
Timothy
and
chapters 1,
with my
verse
dance
7.
instructor right here. My dance instructor. Show me a move. What are we doing? What are we doing? Okay. Where are we going? Okay. Okay. Okay.
Let's put our hands
Okay. What are we doing? Hey.
So see that distance?
An absolute pleasure. I thought you were the one doing it, but you had somebody
I mean, that's all I have. That's all I can do. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. But the fun and excitement continues right here at the Jamaica Canadian Association. You definitely want to come on down. It's Health and Wellness Weekend as well as our Emancipation celebration. You don't want to miss this. Right here, 995 Arrow Road in North York. Back over to the front desk.
Hey everybody, spread the news. We are promoting health and well-being today. JCA with Capcan, Black Pioneer Village, no, Black Creek Health Center. The City of Toronto confronted anti-black racism.
Oh my God.
Black Physicians Association of Ontario.
Dominic Shelton, Sunnybrook. I'm going to ask you to introduce yourself, what you do, and tell us a little bit about this initiative.
If I have to pay, I'm in name panelist. Security, they could have looked for cannabis. Put your name on the vaccine list. Everybody needs to get their double dose here today. On behalf of the Black Community Initiative.
Good afternoon. This is GBKM. We're at the Canadian Association. We're here with Dr. Dominic Shelton, and with Sunnybrook. He's going to tell us a little bit about what he does. As we're here, if you're not vaccinated as yet, come down to the JCA 995 Arrow Road. You also can get your pressure checked. You can get your blood test as well. Come down to the JCA 995 Arrow Road. Dr. Shelton, pleasure to meet you today. How are you?
Thank you. I'm well, thank you, and nice to meet you.
That's terrific. So tell us a little bit about what you do at Sunnybrook.
Well, I'm an emergency physician at Sunnybrook, and basically I'm there to deal with anything that comes through the door. And specifically with regards to COVID, you know, we have, I've seen the impact firsthand of the COVID infection on the population and certainly on the Black community in particular.
Yes.
And so, you know, the fact that we have a vaccine that can prevent the severe illness that I see when people resort to having to come to the emergency department, I think is a good thing, and I'm certainly an advocate for getting the vaccine into the arms of people to prevent illness and ultimately to prevent death.
Now, they say a lot of the unvaccinated are the ones entering the hospital. So what's their main hesitancy, you think, and how can you overcome that?